What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark, MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about Treasure Island, Season 1, Episode 7. Skeleton Crew, Season 1, Episode 7. This is, it's got to be the penultimate, right? We're not going to 10. Are we going to 10? This is 8. Is this 8 episodes? It's got to be 8 episodes. This feels like the episode right before the finale. Like, is John gonna walk around this planet for 3 episodes? I don't know. I feel like this is, and then it kind of makes me question, like, is this a limited that has potential to expand into a series, or is it just a limited? Anyway, this episode was directed by Lee Isaac Chung, who, um, again, I feel the same way when I had the Daniels. I was like, why are these directors jumping into this series? Are they just checking the Star Wars thing off their list? They're like, I did some Star Wars. There's nothing here that feels like this, the director of Minari and Twisters. Like, nothing. And I felt that with the Daniels, too. I was like, there's nothing here that feels like from the directors of Everything Everywhere All at Once comes this episode. It's so weird. Like, this series has attracted some of the best directors currently working in Hollywood. And when you go episode to episode, you're like, but where? Where's that flavor? Where's that spice? You know, Lee Isaac Chung is really having to stretch himself because obviously he's great at pulling Americana out of things. That feeling, like he really seems to understand like the Midwest. We're not in the Midwest. We are not in the Midwest. So, yeah, I didn't feel that. I didn't feel him in this movie, in this episode. But I thought it was cool that the pirates, they see the kids in their ship and they try to take it over. And there's a battle that ensues because you know, the droid reminds that there's a rule that you can only have one ship at one time. And Jod, of course, wants to claim the ship because he believes the key. And he kills the captain, by the way, of the other ship, which was always going to happen, inevitably. So he becomes the de facto captain as they're taking over the other ship. And he lays claim to the new ship instead of the old ship. And then in a sort of dumb twist, she Fern takes backsies or something on him claiming the ship. Unclaimsies or something like that. And the droid was like, yeah, that works. I was like, what is happening here? But John obviously has the Force and knows how to use a lightsaber, so rest in peace to the droid who gets decapitated this episode, and then the bilge rat gets kicked to the side. So we're down a droid. But then Jod ends up being the only pirate on the ship through a lot of chaos and commotion, and then the ship is being pulled in because it's authorized. Like the ship itself is a special kind of ship that's authorized to get in and out of the planet. So it's brought in, and there's a message that the parents send out against there's this scene shown at the very beginning where they're trying to get the signal device, but they keep getting zapped parent to parent to parent to parent as they keep trying to get this signal thing out there. And yeah, because droids are emotionless and like they don't care that the kids are out in the space. But so they sent this message that explains to them how to get home, and they're like, you need to find an emissary. Of course, Jubal hears this, so he just assumes the role of emissary, even though he's not. And he ends up getting into Ad-Aden that way, but he's the only one. There are no other pirates with him. And I mean, unless he's just like super Jedi, he's got a lot of security systems and droids that he has to face off against in order to truly triumph here. So I just don't. I don't know what he's gonna do, but like the final shot of him turning around with like the lightsaber is like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? There are droids here, and they're pretty good at zapping things, as shown in the first couple minutes of the episode. But John sees an immeasurable amount of credits apparently, and he's like, and he just goes to one vault, and one vault is like a fuckload of credits, and he's like, how many of these are there? And it's like 1,100 something, and I'm like, good God. So John's like, like why, like, it's like it being the richest person on the planet times 1,000. uh, so yeah, he absolutely, I'm sure will do whatever it takes to get that and to make that himself. I have a theory, and I haven't seen the 8th episode yet, but there's this whole thing about with the, because that's obviously the droid, right? So the droid was on the ship that made it through, and we found it, and we figured out that the ship can pass through. And we there's this pirate that was sort of like lost to time, right? And they've been following his messages. It's the one that he wrote they found the Ad-Adam thing, and he made the droid. I can't think of the name of that pirate. But the pirate that they've been following his legacy this whole time. I think he is the supervisor or whatever that they've been talking about. I think when we see him, he's going to be the one who's at the top. I think he found Ad-Adam, and he decided that the best way to keep the treasure to himself was to become in charge of Ad-Adam. So he probably did relatively the same thing, being the emissary, but then he ended up taking over Ad-Adam. So he's just been running Ad-Adam this whole time. So these are all his credits, and this is his planet. So I think Jod is in for a little bit of a wake-up call when he finds out like who that person is, because they alluded to the fact that you still need to meet with this person, and I think we're going to see that person. And I kind of think that person, because that ship definitely crash landed with somebody, and yes, there was a skeleton that was on board, but we don't know that that was the captain. So it may not have been. The droid was not necessarily always the most reliable person in the face of the planet. So that's my theory in Skeleton Crew. But anyway, we're close to the end. Everybody's in possible danger, unless he's just going to tell people he's a Jedi, which is also possible. Unless he's turning around and being like, I'm a Jedi. I'm one of the lost ones. I'm here to fight and protect the coin, and that's what I do now. So I like the show. I hate it as a Star Wars thing, because it's like, how do you put this into the middle of Star Wars? But I do love it as a standalone. Like, this has been real fun. Space Goonies has been really fun. All the Treasure Planet, Treasure Island references have been great. I'm so hoping while we were in space that somebody was going to get to like surf, space surf. Like, one of the kids was going to have to like get a little board and surf out to the side of the plane. I want a moment to be real. I've seen Treasure Planet way too many times. Anyway, so yeah, Skeleton Crew. I'm gonna go with A- on this one, because yeah, I liked it. But again, like, why are we bringing these top directors in here if they can't bring flavor to it? Like, I think it would be so much more interesting to actually feel the director, actually do something interesting, other than like, it all feels like, yep, these directors can competently copy each other's styles very well. keep the series moving forward. So, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the other side.